Hi students, welcome to online class. So today in this video we are going to discuss about chapter 4 Algorithmic strategies. See, last video we have discussed about the efficiency of algorithm, difference between algorithm and a program, like that. So here now we are going to discuss about how to determine the efficiency of an algorithm. How we can find out the efficiency of an algorithm in an easier manner. Is there any technique available for finding out the efficiency of an algorithm? Right. So first, computer resources are limited that should be utilized efficiently. So computer resources are limited that should be utilized efficiently. What is the meaning they are explaining here, or what they are trying to convey means, we are using the resources such as keyboard, mouse, printer, as well as the CPU. Each and every electronic device is called as a resource. Each and every electronic device should be utilized efficiently, including the memory also, whatever it may be, whether it is a RAM or ROM. So each and every computer parts should be utilized efficiently. It should not be wasted, right? The efficiency of an algorithm is defined as the number of computational resources used by the algorithm. So how they are finding out the efficiency means how many number of resources you are using to execute a particular algorithm. What are all the resources involved in that particular algorithm? So based on the computational resources, based on the resources we are using for executing a particular algorithm. So that is determining its resource usage. Algorithm must be analyzed only through the resource usage. How much of resources we are using. See, most of them, they are using the computer in their home. Whether everybody is using the computer in an efficient manner? No. What is the purpose of computer? The purpose of computer is used to store the data, and it is used to retrieve the data. Not only that, we can share the information in an easier manner through the internet. For that particular purpose also we are using the computer. So the process which is done in a manual manner, if the same process is done in an electronical manner, systematic manner, it will be done in an efficient manner. But most of them we are not using the computer in an efficient manner. Playing the games, hearing the musics, watching the movies, like that only most of you are using the resource. That is not the usage of computer. So the algorithm should be used in a correct manner. It should be used in an efficient manner. It should be executed in an efficient manner. See here, the efficiency of an algorithm can be measured based on the usage of different resources. So again and again they are trying to convey the same thing. You can use different kinds of resources, whatever it may be, whether it is a scanner, printer, or a keyboard, mouse, monitor, whatever the memory it may be. It may be a 500 GB memory or whatever it may be. So how much of resources are involved in that, right? So for maximum efficiency of algorithm, so when the algorithm is maximum efficient, minimum resource usage, the resource should be used in a minimized manner. It should not be used in a maximized manner. It should be used in a minimized manner. So we know very well about the last video itself we have discussed. There are two factors which involved in the efficiency of an algorithm. What are the two factors we discussed in the last video? Time complexity and space complexity. See, both these complexities we cannot compare together. We cannot compare directly. Why? See, the time and space will not work at the same level. For example, for storing the data, 4 bytes of data, integer occupies in C++ language, integer occupies 4 bytes of data. 4 bytes of data means that is equal to 4 into 1024 bytes. Right? It is nearly 4000 something bytes it will occupy. But how much time it takes to store the data? Within a fraction of second it will store the data in the memory. So storage of data is occurred in a faster manner, but occupied space is heavy. Occupied amount of space is large. Fraction of second, within a second the data is stored in the memory, but the space occupied by the space occupied for that particular variable, it cannot be compared with the time. So that is what here they are saying. The important resources such as time and space complexity cannot be compared directly. So time and space complexity could be considered for an algorithmic efficiency. Right. Method for determining the efficiency. What are the methods we can determine for efficiency? What are the methods we can determine for finding out the efficiency of an algorithm? The efficiency of an algorithm depends on how efficiently it uses time and memory. So how it is using the time and memory, based on that only the efficiency of an algorithm is found out. The time efficiency of an algorithm is measured by different factors. For example, see here they have given you example. Write a program for a defined algorithm. Execute it by using any programming language. You can execute using any programming language, C or C++. Now, after creating the program, you run the program. And then you measure the time, how much of time it takes to execute the program, how much of time it takes to run the program. It may take only a fraction of a second. If the program contains 10 lines or 15 lines, how much time it takes? It may take just 1 or 2 seconds. But if it is a lengthier program, means, for example, you take 10,000 lines or 25,000 lines, whether it takes only a fraction of a second, maybe now we are using, most of the students, they are using the advanced computers such as i5, the RAM capacity is i5, and then they are using the latest configurations. So it is not only based on the number of lines, it is also based on the speed of the computer, and then what are all the software we are using inside the computer. So like that, it depends upon not only the algorithm, it is also based on the memory of the computer, speed of the computer, what are all the softwares we have installed in the computer, based on that. So here just you take the time alone, how to measure the time. So just create the algorithm, write the algorithm, and then implement the algorithm in any programming language, C or C++. Then you run the program. Then how much time it takes to execute the program or run the program. So that particular time is the efficiency of the particular algorithm, time efficiency, right? Time factor, time complexity, we can say like that. See here they are given. The execution time that you measure in this case would depend on number of factors. The time may be working on different factors. What are the factors? Speed of the machine, how much speed the machine is working. If it is a Pentium core 4, for example, that is, I am saying that dual core. Now most of you don't know that particular configuration. When we were studying at that time, those configurations are there. Intel Pentium 3, Intel Pentium 4. So if these processes are used, the program takes much amount of time. For example, if you create a 10 to 15 lines of program, it takes 1 minute to run the program. But whether we are waiting that much of time in i3 processor or i5 processor, no. So it is based on the speed of the machine. Compiler and other system software tools. So what type of compiler we are using? There are different types of compilers are there. C, C++, there are different compilers are there. So Turbo C++ compiler, Dev C++ compiler. Last year you have studied Dev C++. It is one type of compiler, right? And based on the system tools, right? Next, operating system. What type of operating system you are using? If you are using Windows 98, is it possible to run the program in a faster manner? No, because Windows 98, those OS operating systems are older versions. Now most of them they are using only Windows 10 and Windows 8 point something, right? And then what type of programming language we are using? So whether we are using C language or C++ or Python or Java, so based on that the time efficiency will also work. And then volume of data required. So how much of data is required to run that particular program? What are all the data which is needed for running the program? So based on these factors, the execution time can be measured. The execution time can be measured, right? Now see here again they are trying to say the same thing. However, to determine how efficiently an algorithm solves a given problem, you would like to determine how the execution time is affected by the nature of the algorithm. So we want to find out whether it is only based on the system, it is only based on the compiler, whether the algorithm is affected only by the operating system or only because of the programming language. Sometimes the algorithm may be very difficult. Whatever the program we are going to create, that particular program, it may be a lengthier program, or else it may be very difficult to execute. It takes some more time to execute. So when we are creating a complicated programs, not a simple programs, whenever we are creating the complicated programs, the program size may be very large. Size in the sense here the number of lines, how many number of lines you have used to create the program. So if you create a program with n number of lines, it may be 20,000 or 25,000. So that much of lines if a program contains, the program itself takes more time to execute. So apart from the program, we have several factors. Speed of the machine, programming language we are using, and then several things are there. So whenever we implement the algorithm in a program, the program should be very simple. It should not be a tedious one. It should not be a difficult one. Right? Then we need to develop fundamental laws that determine the efficiency of a program in terms of the nature of the underlying algorithm. So we want to create some basic laws. So that's what they have created in programming languages. The programming languages contain some syntax. Some basic syntax are there. We want to create a for loop like this. We want to use the while loop like this. What is the use of continuous statement? Why we are using break statement? So like that they are following some fundamental laws. Why they are following the fundamental laws? Because the fundamental laws of the program will not affect the algorithm. Right? So whatever the algorithm we are using, based on that we can implement in the program. So that is also determining the efficiency. Right? Space-time trade-off. So what is mean by space-time trade-off? See, this is our technique, is a way of solving in less time by using more storage space or by solving a given algorithm in very little space by spending more time. So only possibility is there, whether the time will be less and space occupied will be more, or else space occupied will be less, and then we want to take much amount of time to execute. So this particular technique is called space time trade-off or time memory trade-off. They used to call by both the names, space and time, space time trade-off, or else time memory trade-off, right? So in this particular technique we can solve the given problem by less time and using more space, more storage space, or else by solving the given algorithm by less space and by spending more time. So for this also we can, to solve the given programming problem, many different algorithms are there. So already I told you there are many different algorithms are there. We can use all the different types of algorithms. We are going to discuss in the later videos. So based on the algorithms, why these algorithms are used, like that we are going to discuss, right? Some of these algorithms may be extremely time efficient and others extremely space efficient. So some algorithms are based on time constraint, some algorithms are based on space constraint. So we cannot concentrate equally. We cannot concentrate both time and space equally. Either we can go by time efficient or we can go by space efficient. We cannot go by both, right? Time space trade-off refers to a situation where you can reduce the use of memory at the cost of slower program execution or reduce the running time at the cost of increased memory usage. So we can use this particular technique based on the system. Whenever we want to reduce the memory, so at the time we can go with a slower program execution. That means running time will be slower, but usage of memory will be reduced. And then where you can go for another situation, whenever the running time is reduced, the cost of increased memory usage also we can go. So always we cannot consider the both. We can go either by space or space or time. So whenever the memory space is at low cost, we can go for the memory space as low and running time as faster. Whenever the running time is less, we can go with the cost of increased memory usage, right? The best algorithm to solve a given problem is one that requires less space in memory and it takes less time to execute its instruction to generate the output. So always we want to go with minimized manner. Whenever we are purchasing a product, we try to go with a minimum cost. Whenever they are saying that this particular product is 100 rupees, for example, you are going to buy a selfie stick for a camera, you are buying a selfie stick. He is saying that 150. Whether you will give 150 directly and then you will purchase that? No. You will try to reduce the cost. Is it right or not? Yes, that is the human nature. We used to go with the low cost. We will not go by the cost whatever he says. So like that, here we try to follow less space in memory and takes less amount of time. We want to go by solving the problem like that only. That is called the best algorithm, right? I think you might have understood this class. You can understand about the efficiency and then method to determine the efficiency. So thank you students. Let's end the class.